What does a Croc collection look like of the guy who was on the Croc website, who got a Croc tattoo, who ran a marathon in Crocs, who's been wearing them for almost 20 years, and who's made countless Croc videos turning it into his job to talk about Crocs? Well, today you're gonna find out. I'm gonna show off all 27 pairs, soon to be 32, subscribe, including some limited edition collaborations that I've collected over the years that you can't find anymore, and at the end, reveal how much in total I've spent on Crocs. Spoiler alert. It's a lot. First up, we got the Baya Clogs right here. They're actually the first pair of Crocs that I got as a kid that I still have now. There might have been another one. As you can see, this one has got a little damaged in the sun. Surprisingly, for being as old as they are, they're still in pretty good condition. At least this one is. They're size 4 in men's and 6 in women's. You know, I could maybe get half of my foot into here now, but I found these in a box a little while ago. Yeah, so these are a pretty cool part of my collection. Next up, we have some Maroon classic clogs right here. These are pretty filthy. As you can see, I wear these quite often, and as you can tell, there is some damage on the front. Got on the wrong side of a pressure washer, and you know, the rest is history. I wear these to the river. I wear these when I'm doing yard work. These are kind of the shoes that I don't really care about if they get dirty or damaged even more, because you know, it's already too late to care about that. This gibbet was actually placed here by some random person. I left my Crocs somewhere and someone just came along and put this in, and it's been here ever since, and that was like 6 years ago. I actually bought these back in 2019 to film a video, 25 reasons Crocs are the best shoe in the world. You guys have probably seen that. I'll leave a link up here to check it out if you haven't.
They give you the power to do a backflip. You can shower with them.
At the time, that was my most viewed video, so a lot of good memories with these Crocs. These are some of my favorites. Alright, next up we got the navy blue classic clogs right here. As you can see, one of them is a little more shiny than the other. I used these in a short not too long ago that I filmed where I used the Croc Shine to demonstrate the difference that it made. I still recommend getting the Croc Shine. I think it's a pretty cool product. They're both clean, but one of them looks pretty new and one of them looks pretty old, and these Crocs I got back in 2018. They've seen their fair share of use. These were actually one of the first adult pair of Crocs that I bought. I bought these in Vegas back in, I think, 2018. Been wearing them ever since. These are a classic pair right here. Alright, next up we got the yellow classic slides right here. I have never worn these. I personally do not like Croc slides. I bought these for a video so that I could show the difference between the classic clogs and the Croc slides. They are super uncomfortable in my opinion, and low-key really ugly. I don't know if it's just the color or the design. I am not the biggest fan of these though. I just put some random gibbets in it. That's about all I have to say about these ones. Next up, we got the classic geometric clogs right here. These are a really cool pair. I bought these not too long ago. Haven't really worn them out because they look too cool and I don't want to get them dirty. It's just a classic clog, but it's got all these patterns on it. But they made a good addition to my collection. Alright, next up we got the Yukon Vista 2s right here. These are my wedding Crocs. I have worn these to multiple weddings. They are pretty much a classic clog, but with some faux leather on top. I've made a video comparing them to classics. They're pretty close, but they've got an adjustable strap. They're a pretty nice looking pair of Crocs if you ask me, and that's why they're my wedding shoes. I will maybe be wearing these to my own wedding one day. But yeah, they're pretty comfortable and they're pretty stylish. Alright, next up we got the Literide 360s right here. I've worn these a few times. As you can see, they're a little bit dirty. These are super comfortable. These are one of the most comfortable pairs of Crocs I have. Something about the padding on this one, it's different than the classics and it is so comfortable. I gotta start wearing these more because they are super comfortable. Alright, next up we got the white classic clogs right here. These are just your basic pair. Everyone has a pair of these. I bought these specifically for a video to get them as dirty as possible and then clean them. You guys remember seeing that video? I posted it like last year. I actually let these sit outside in a bunch of filth for like a week. Some of it seeped into the material. I think I used tomato sauce and it got soaked up after sitting there for a week. Haven't really worn these out. They still look pretty new. These were once disgusting. Yeah, maybe I should start wearing these. Next up, we have the Literide Pacers right here. These are my old gym shoes. I stopped wearing them only because of how annoying they sounded. Every time you take a step, it would squeak and it would sound super awkward. I'm not sure why. They're also just not my favorite. Nowadays, I just wear normal Crocs to the gym, and these have been collecting dust for 5+ years now. I can't say I recommend you getting a pair of these, but I have them, and yeah, they're part of the collection. Alright, next up, I've got the green tie-dye classic clogs right here. As you can see, they don't look like the classic clogs, they have the fur in them. I actually put this in myself. I made a video about it not too long ago where I bought some inserts that I could just put into any pair of Crocs. I think they're pretty cool. You can turn any pair of classics into fuzzy Crocs, and I think that's really cool. Almost exactly the same as a line clog, and you can take this out and wash it and put it back in, so it's easier to clean. Yeah, I think these are pretty cool. I would definitely recommend checking these out. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to cop a pair of these so you can turn your Crocs into the line Crocs for winter coming up. Yeah, don't wear these too often, but they are a cool addition to the collection. Alright, next up are the Slate Gray Classic Clogs. I love these Crocs. I wear these a lot. They're super neutral. I don't always like the bright colors, so sometimes something very neutral and basic like this is the go-to. The last few times I've gone to the beach, I've worn these. As you can see, I got the turtle, the crab, and the little boat on it. Half the time, these are filled with sand or dirt from wandering the beaches. But yeah, these are a really nice pair. Love these a lot. Alright, next up are the Echo Clogs right here. I bought these because they look cool. I haven't worn these out yet. I don't think I've worn these out yet. I don't know much else to say about these ones. They, you know, kind of just sit on the shelf and look pretty for right now, but maybe I'll start wearing them out. For now, they're going back in the collection. Alright, so next up we've got another pair of tie-dye classic clogs. I actually used these Crocs in one of my last videos where I filled all of the holes with glow-in-the-dark gibbets, if you want to check that out. Again, leave a link up here. I think these are pretty cool. I think this is the perfect pair to fill with these gibbets. And yeah, they are pretty sweet if you ask me. Alright, next up, the Sloan Luxe slide. I bought these for a video because they were on sale. I think they're size women's 11, I think. So they're too small for me. They don't even fit for the content. They're a write-off. I can't really justify those. Alright, next up we've got the Marble Classic Clog right here. These are a pair that I haven't worn in a while, but I used to wear these. These used to be my beach Crocs until I upgraded, I guess, to the slate gray ones. I think I wore these Crocs in the video that I made like 5 or 6 years ago, where I took the lobster back to the ocean and set him free. If you guys remember that video, you guys are a real OG. Haven't worn these for a while. Maybe I should start wearing them again because they are pretty cool. Alright, next up we got the tie-dye classic lined clog right here. I haven't really worn these. I wore them a little bit, but for some reason, the top coat, that's the tie-dye part of it, has been like peeling off. But again, bought these for a video. They were probably on sale. Haven't really worn them too much, so yeah. These, unfortunately, will be going just right back in the collection. Alright, next up we got the zebra print classic clogs right here, and as you can see, every single hole is filled with the headlights. Again, it's for a video. Check it out if you want to see how bright these are when all of them are turned on. But yeah, these kind of are just a piece of the collection at this point. I don't really plan on wearing these, especially with this many lights in there. It's actually super heavy, all of these lights, so it creates a very weird effect when you're wearing them. These are a pretty unique pair. I don't know anyone else who has a pair of Crocs with every single hole filled with the lights, so if you know somebody that has them, you've got some weird friends. That's all I can say. I'm going to toss these gently back over into the pile. Alright, next up we got the Chai Classic Lined Clog right here. These have seen their use. The bottom is almost completely wore through. These are pretty disgusting, and that's even, I mean, they're covered in literal cobwebs. I pulled these from my garage. I've got like bits of dust now floating off me. Yeah, these are gross. There's probably a family of spiders living in here somewhere. I used to wear these all the time. These saw a lot of use. These were my daily drivers for a long time, and now they sit and collect dust, mostly because they just got so gross and so worn down, and I decided to get some new ones. So let's let the spiders have those ones. Alright, next up we got the white classic lined clog. These are a very old pair again, as you can see. I got these as a gift on my 17th birthday, and for a while I wore them almost every single day. They're pretty gross now. The inside is all like ripped up. They're all dusty and dirty and grimy. I did love these a lot for a while. From like 17 to like 19, I wore these pretty much every day. So yeah, it is unfortunate that they have been collecting dust for many years now, but I'm just going to get those out of here. Alright, next up, the black Ralen lined clogs right here. I like this pair a lot. They're very comfortable. I have tried to keep them in pretty good condition. I do wear them a decent amount. I'll let you guys guess what these Crocs are used for, but yeah, they're very comfortable. Kept them in good condition, and I plan to keep them in nice condition. Alright, last up before we get into the limited edition pairs, these are the blue classic clogs right here. These are my daily drivers. I wear these every single day, and I have for many years. I actually ran a marathon in these Crocs a few years ago, if you haven't seen that video. can check it out. But yeah, I got a bunch of red themed gibbets on this one and then some other random gibbets. I wear these more than any other pair I have. The bottoms are starting to get pretty worn, which is really sad because I'm probably going to have to retire these at some point in the next year or two. But yeah, these carried me for an entire marathon with no training too. I just strapped these guys on. I don't even know if I strapped them on. I think they were in casual mode the whole time. These are probably one of my favorite pairs. Alright, so these are a custom pair of Crocband clogs. I made these a few years ago. I hydro dipped them. I even signed it right up front. I didn't do the best job. I didn't seal it or anything, so the paint has been slowly chipping away. I don't wear these. These are just a piece of the collection, but if I were to do this again, I would definitely put a sealer on it and do it a little bit better because, yeah, there's bits of paint basically just falling off at all times. I think I meant to film a video about these, but I ended up scrapping it for some reason. I guess it just didn't turn out the way I liked. If you want me to do it again in the future, I will buy another pair and try it again and do it way better than these. So let me know if you want to see that. But for now, I'm gonna gently toss those over there. Alright, so getting into the limited edition Crocs, I got the Luke Comb Crocs right here. Check them out. Pretty cool. These were only available for a limited time and I got my hands on some. Big fan of Luke Combs, and these Crocs look pretty sick. They're just white classic line clogs, but they got the cool design up front and they got the custom gibbets. So yeah, really cool pair. These have been sitting on my shelf for a few years since they came out. Don't plan on ever wearing these. These are just a cool collector's item. Yeah, shout out to Luke Combs. These are a very cool pair that I was lucky enough to get my hands on before they sold out, because they've been sold out for a very long time now. Now for the 100th anniversary Disney Crocs right here, I actually got these as a gift. One of my friends went to Disney and got these for me. 100th anniversary collaboration, pretty sick. I like the shiny piece here, the glittery, whatever, you know, the custom gibbets. These are actually attached, they're not even gibbets. These are pretty cool, like these a lot. It was a very good gift. You know, anyone's watching out there, I'm size 11 in Crocs. All right, you guys know what to get me. My birthday's coming up in a few months, you know, Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really like this pair and it was a great addition to the collection. So yeah. Thank you for these. Alright, next up, one of my favorite pairs, the Shrek Crocs. These are, I mean, they speak for themselves. They've got the fuzzy strap right here. They've got the ears and the nose gibbets. I mean, you can take these off and move them if you wanted to. These are sick, alright? These were a really cool collab, and I was very lucky to get my hands on some before they sold out. Again, I would love to wear these because they just look so funny and so cool, but I don't want to get them dirty. These are limited edition. Yeah, as you can see, I still have the tag on it. These are brand new. I bought them like a year ago, I think, when they came out. But anyway, love these a lot, and they're just so cool. Alright, next up, the Toe Mater Crocs right here. These are a super cool pair, one of the most recent additions to my collection. I was lucky to get my hands on a pair of these. They were pretty much sold out everywhere, but I found somewhere that had like one left in stock. They are not quite my size, they're a size 10, normally size 11. I can barely squeeze my foot in here, but I can make it work. So again, not really planning on wearing these. These are more of a collector's item. I like the movie cars, as you can probably tell by some of the gibbets on my daily drivers. But yeah, these are a really cool addition to the collection here. And last but not least, the Lightning Mcqueen Crocs right here. These are one of my favorite pairs that I have. As you can see, they light up. These are super cool. Probably the most iconic Croc collaboration they've ever done. I actually bought these recently. They have been sold out for many, many years, so I was lucky to get my hands on a pair of them. I might have had to pay more money than I'm willing to admit on these Crocs right here, but it was worth it for the collection. And again, it's a write-off. Come on, I'm gonna film videos about it. I'm filming a video about it right now. But yeah, I got more videos coming in the future about these because they're just so cool. I mean, they light up. No Croc collection is complete without a pair of Lightning Mcqueen Crocs, so very happy I was able to get some of these. I'm not even gonna throw these. I'm going to place them down gently because gotta respect the Lightning McQueen Crocs. After adding up the cost of all the different pairs I have, I found that in my life, I've spent around $1,885 on Crocs. I say that's money well spent, but please, Crocs, send me some shoes. My accountant is begging you. I've also got hundreds of gibbets that I didn't have time to show off in this video, but if you want a separate video where I go through my entire collection of like 300 to 400 gibbets, I will do that as well. My goal is to one day have my own collaboration with Crocs, Oxcharger Crocs. How cool would that be? Would you guys buy those? It would be like the shape of a rhino or something and have a rhino final horn. It would be super cool. If you guys want to see that and want to buy those, then tag Crocs below so they can see this and make that happen. But yeah, Oxcharger Crocs are coming one day, mark my words. I will email Crocs as many times as it takes for them to notice me. To anyone working at Crocs, if you see 1,800 emails from some random guy, I'm not sorry. But yeah, that's about it. How many Crocs do you have in your collection? Is it more than 27 pairs? Is it less than 27 pairs? If it's more, I've got some questions for you. I'm a little concerned. But if it's less, then you might want to step up your game a little bit. Yeah, if you want to buy a pair of Crocs, I will leave an affiliate link right here. You can go ahead and click on it and buy a pair of Crocs. You don't have to buy the exact pair that you click. You can click the link and buy anything you want, and I will get a percentage of that sale. It really helps the channel out a lot and helps me bring these videos out to you more often. So definitely check that out below. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.